ocho, siete, seis, cinco, cuatro, trois, deux, un. Hello, and welcome to the Galactic Seabass channel. My name is Sebastian. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm your host now, forever, and always. Been making videos here on YouTube for about 8 years, and this whole podcast thing is pretty fun. So here we are on episode 55 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. That's a plane overhead, which means we're doing a big old cheers. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Sebastian. Thank you for being here. The name of this episode is Kill Tony Round 2. And we are going to get into that at some point. Please don't go in the comments like, I want to kill Tony, but I want to kill Tony, and blah. Shut up. Just get up. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I think I can help with this whole pan situation. Anyway, it's been a long night. We've done a lot of stuff this evening here in the last, oh boy, I don't even know. What's 96 hours plus one more day? 110 hours. It's 5 days. We've done quite a bit. Holy cow. Here we go. We are here on episode 55. Thank you so much for being here on the Galactic Seabass channel, first off. My name is Sebastian. Some of my friends call me Seabass, a.k.a. Galactic Seabass, a.k.a. Seabass Jokes, a.k.a. James Blonde USA, a.k.a. Seabass with cash symbols at the end, a.k.a. You Can't Stop Galactic, a.k.a. Galactic Seabass, a.k.a. blah, blah, blah. I've made a lot of crazy little social handles over the years. Crazy, hey there, Crazy Plates, Toy Switchblade, I don't even, there's so many. Oh my gosh. All right, so basically, excuse me, I started work at 9 o'clock last night. It's currently 10:52 in the morning, so I worked a 12-hour shift from 9 to 9. I am a rideshare driver, as some of you know, and there was a challenge this week to do 70 rides in 96 hours. So from Monday at 5 a.m., you have 96 hours, which means Friday at 5 a.m. And you have to do 70 rides within that time frame in order to get a bonus. So the bonus is $100, first off. It's not that crazy. Now, I'm at the point in my life where I need $100. $100 is 2, maybe 3 tanks of gas. And that money goes a long way. You can stretch it out quite a bit. So started off Monday. Really, we started off Friday because we had a challenge of doing 50 rides from Friday to Sunday, which is only 72 hours. And we met that challenge, plus a couple extra. So I think I got 54 from Friday to Sunday. And then kept going into the Monday. And then got some sleep and started off, Monday night. And we had 96 hours, so currently it's 10:53, which means in theory I would have 13 more hours to get this done. However, I am currently at 71 rides for the week, so that bonus has been met. And the job's challenging, you never really know who's going to get in the car. CEO to crackhead, everybody needs a ride. And it doesn't matter if you're sober, if you're drunk, or you're on drugs. You can be sober and be a real butthole, or you can be on drugs and be hilarious and really fun to hang out with. There's everything in between, it's every kind of person ever. So please keep in mind this episode is very sleep deprived. However, I love making these episodes and I'm happy to be here for you guys. So thank you so much for being here today on the Galactic Seabass channel. This episode is brought to you by Black Coffee, cigarettes, and bong rips. That's what keeps us going. That's what lets us keep making these episodes. So happy to be here today. And maybe we'll get a chance to go to the Yellow Rose, #1 gentlemen's club in Austin for 42 years. Oh, it'll be a good time. I can't believe I drove down to Austin for the New Year's special. So, all right. So for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Hi, I'm Sebastian, aka Seabass, aka Galactic Seabass. So if you go back a few videos ago on my YouTube channel, you can find a video where I drove down to Austin and basically tried to get on the Kill Tony Arena show. And I was unsuccessful. However, I did make it to Austin, and I tried. I wasn't unsuccessful in trying. I definitely did that. I didn't get on the show. That's what matters. Or, with all the semantics that play. Also, every time a plane goes overhead, I cheers on this show. I know it's just me, but hey, cheers, everybody. Let's go. Now, when we went down, it may have been disheartening that I didn't get pulled for any of the Kill Tony shows. I tried to get on some mics. I didn't get on the mics. And I thought, holy cow, this is ridiculous. Went to Austin. I didn't do any comedy. That was pretty funny, honestly. And on the last day, the very last day, I ended up seeing a show at the Vulcan. We've talked about this before, but it was the regular show. So on the poster, it was Hans, David, and Cam. And it's kind of funny. At certain points in time, I've met all those individuals. I got a T-shirt from David. It says Roast Malone. He signed it. We took a picture, and I met Hans in the hallway trying to go to the bathroom at the Vulcan. He told me I had a nice hat. Thought that was cool. I gave him a fist bump, and then I hung out with Cam in the green room at the Comedy Store in LA. Also, the Comedy Store in LA, speaking of which, there is the Roast Battle video now available from Roast Battle League on my channel. The link is in the description down below, where I annihilate Mitch Ryan. Had a unanimous victory, a flawless victory in a roast battle, which is unprecedented. I'm very grateful for that one. So shouts out. Anyway, we met all the Kill Tony characters along the way, as far as like the poster goes. Ian Fidance ended up being there, and Jetski Johnson, and then Tony came in and did a 30-minute Q&A on the arena show, which was amazing. That was such a fun little thing to just sit down and be front row to. And I had my hand up basically the whole time, and at a certain point, maybe the second to last question, he said, "Okay, what about you, freakazoid?" And I asked him, "Are you going to release that song with Dr. Phil and Nicole something? Happy New Year." Just thought that was the most fun song. And I'd love to hear that over and over on Spotify. So I think that'd be kind of cool. And the Amazon guy is outside. I found an Amazon shirt on the ground earlier while I was doing rideshare, and I think I have an idea for a little video. Just a little bullshit social media video that will go into the depths of oblivion within 24 hours, but whatever. Keep making content. That's what you have to do, right? Just keep going. Speaking of which, please watch my content. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are several ways to down below in the description. There is a Venmo and a Cashapp, and if you would like to subscribe to the Patreon, you can get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes stuff and stuff that I can't put on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Just give me your money. Anyway. Well, I could use some of it. I'm not doing very well financially. I think spiritually I'm doing pretty groovy, but, you know, I'm alright. That's why I wear a lot of corduroy. Keep it groovy. Anyway, I appreciate you being here today. Thanks for watching this episode. Now, let's get into it. The name of this podcast is Kill Tony Round 2. So I drove to Austin. I was the only San Diego comedian who tried to drive down to Austin to get on maybe the hardest Kill Tony to get pulled on ever. I don't know what was in my head that this would just work out. I would just, oh, this will be great. I don't know. I'm kind of a psychopath, but in like this really idealistic hippie way. So, I try my best. I don't know what to say. There's a plane. Let's go. Now, I ended up, finding my way down to Austin. I got there. I did the shows. Didn't work out. And I told myself, they're you know they made the announcement during the show that they're going to do more arenas, and the first arena announcement was the LA shows, and then in August they're doing Madison Square Garden. Now, the significance that Madison Square Garden plays into my life is that my dad passed away when I was 14 years old. Now, before that, my dad told me that we were going to go see Rush at Madison Square Garden, and I love Rush. I fucking love Rush. Um, Living in the limelight we no. Wow, just Spirit Radio, YYZ, Tom Sawyer, today's Tom Sawyer, I on you, spicy and amazing, I on you, wait, hold on. That was mine does not for rent. Don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quite a fan. Anyway, Rush is dope. Slap at a bass. I could do that for hours. I love Rush. My dad loved Rush way more than I do. If I can go through his record collection over there, just the Rush section alone, I think it's like 30 records. I didn't even know you could make that many as a band. Think about modern day bands and the fact that they only produce maybe a couple albums, mostly singles. Rush put out this discography. It might as well be its own, country with how much discography it has. Anyway, so the goal this weekend is to get on the Kill Tony show. Hey, live on the Kill Tony show. So no one's ever done a Mexican drum off in the arena. They've only done it at small venues and stuff. And as most of you know, I love to play the drums and I make music, and I tell people, like, I do comedy, I play drums, and I sing. Maybe the second two are like shifting in and out, but I love those things. Those are my favorite things in the world. I've worked every job I've ever had. I was known as the karaoke dude or whatever, or the human jukebox. I would just sing all the time, incessantly, and it was a lot for some people, to the point where I got fired a lot. And I've had every job ever. I've been a house framer. I've delivered sandwiches. I've delivered weed. I've been a CNA. I was a dishwasher. I deliver people. There's all kinds of stuff I've done over the years. Worked so many music festivals and been a photographer and, made creative content for people and blah, 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 blah. I just like doing stuff and getting it done, and I like making things, and I'm just trying to make something worthwhile or have something, work out to the point where people can watch the stuff that I already made. That would be great. That would be groovy. And I really appreciate, you guys tuning in to watch this show. This is episode 55 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. We have been making episodes for almost a year. It'll be a year next week. Holy cow. Let's cheers to that. Plane overhead inbound. Let's go. UAV inbound. Where's the hole? Drink hole. Drink hole sounds like a terrible bar. I saw this bar this morning. It was called the Open Bar, and it was closed. And it really made me upset. I think that's fair. I think that. And I blow up, and then people come back and watch. You a little bit of background story, okay? Okay, what significance does Kill Tony play in? Hey, so Sebastian, why do you watch Kill Tony? Well, Mr. Hinchcliffe, Mr. God. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, basically, Kill Tony. It came into my life before I ever did stand-up comedy. It was in the latter end of things that made me laugh. I've been laughing since I was a kid at stuff on TV. I love television. I love movies and improv, and I love cinema and just things that are funny. I like things that make me laugh. And over the years, I was always a funny person. I liked being the center of attention. Mark Norman put it very beautifully when he said, "Stand up is how you control how people laugh at you." I love that quote. And in your own life, when you go for okay, if you're like a funny person, you'll understand this. So, excuse me, yeah, a zinger. Excuse me, that's called a callback. Basically, when you do something funny, people have two options, right? Your surrounding audience that you're doing this silly act for, they'll either laugh and think, "Wow, that's wonderful. You were very funny. I enjoyed that. That made me happy as a person." Or you do it in your own head that it's funny, but to everybody else, it's outlandish and weird and just a little bit too much. And now you become ostracized and they're laughing at you. So it's a very different feeling to have the camaraderie of a good joke versus, this feeling of overwhelming shame from your peers. And that's what I grew up in my whole life. It was just this constant battle of like, I'm funny, like I'm weird, I'm funny, I'm weird. And that's why I had friends in every category. I was friends with the football players and the baseball players, and also the jocks are the same things as the football players. The scene kids, the theater kids, the weirdos, the disabled kids. Like, true story. Here's a fun fact about me. In seventh grade, the first day I ever went to a new middle school, I moved schools from sixth to seventh grade. And the first day I tried to find somewhere to sit, and I couldn't find anywhere to sit during lunch. And I ended up sitting with all the retarded kids. And that that fucking sucked, dude. So the next day I went and I ate all my food in the bathroom. And I ate my food there for the next 3 days probably until I made a friend and he said I could sit down at the table. That's how I started like my new middle school experience. And then 2 years later my dad died. Um, yeah, it was a hectic little childhood. Like, yeah, comedians are sad on the inside for sure. I mean, if I don't fit the qualifications, then I don't know what the fuck a comedian is. I love being funny just for the fact that it provides this level of escape to how much pain I felt in my existence. I love making people laugh. It's fucking awesome. I I know what it feels like to hurt, and it feels good to just give something back to people like that. So let's get into why Kill Tony is important in my life, okay? Let's get down to it. Let's get to the brass tacks of this butthole and just get right to it. So basically, all right, let's go back in time. Let's go full story. The date is November 12th, 2021. I do my very first stand-up set at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego, California, hosted by Josiah Moreno. And that night, I do some jokes. You know what? Let's go into the Bible real quick and just find out what jokes I did on the very first set that I ever did stand-up comedy. Now, when I refer to the Bible, I refer to this crazy book that I worked on for years and left on the roof of my car, and it fell off on the highway, and I rode my bicycle back to the highway to go find all the pages, and I put it back together. And I did. I really put it back together. And so I have my very first stand-up set ever. So the first joke I ever told, which apparently I circled that it did not work. So the very first joke I ever told did not go very good. Let's go over my first set. Now, I'm a bit better as a comedian, so I might do this better off than I did that night. However, here we go. Okay, one more cheers for the plane overhead. Cheers. Also, we tried to make this episode earlier, and then I got a phone call, and it totally ruined the audio. So, This is a new version of that. We are doing it again. I appreciate you being here. Rock and roll. You guys are groovy. Stay safe. Stay beautiful. I fucking love you. Thanks for being here on the Galactic Seabass. Thanks for being here on the Galactic Seabass channel. Okay, here's stand-up set number 1. I lied about the date. November 3rd, 2021. Hey, what's up, guys? I know I look like Shaggy got really into Nirvana. I was at a Halloween party recently. My girlfriend was running late. And now I texted her and said, you know, what are you wearing? When are you going to be here? And she sent me some photos, and she had a leather jacket on and some aviator goggles and this leather cap. And she said, look at me, I'm Amelia Earhart. I'll be there in 20 minutes. She never showed up. So if you think about it, pretty historically accurate costume. You know how Amelia Earhart died for real? Never had an orgasm. That's a new one. I wrote that recently. Anyway, back to the old set. Homeless guy pronouns. Okay. So the other, you know, it's almost Halloween. Halloween's coming, or Halloween just passed. I was walking down the street in this full Joker outfit, and this homeless guy yelled out to me like, "Hey, nice outfit, dude," or person. And I was like, thanks. Thanks, homeless guy, or homeless person. You ever take a really long road trip and it's hard to measure how long it is? I like to measure my road trips in Bravehearts. You know, it's a 3.5 hour film, so you want to go up to Las Vegas, that's 2 Bravehearts. You know, you want to go up to San Francisco, that's 3 Bravehearts. You want to go from San Diego to New York City, that's 19 Bravehearts. That last one I was just kind of riffing. You know, recently there's been this new word in our society. You guys probably heard it. It's called Netflix and chill. Now, Netflix and chilling is cool. You know, it's fun to do. It's all right by yourself, but you throw somebody else in the mix, that's a whole other ball game. Now, my favorite person to Netflix and chill with is my dog. No, not like that, you perverts. No, I don't have sex with my dog. We watch Puppy Patrol and Paw Power and Airbud and Snow Dogs, and I fuck my cat. What can I say? I love pussy. Recently, I started to work as a bartender. Now, there's all these drinks that you have to make. You got to remember all these drinks. And so I figured I had it all set, and I did my first shift. And this guy comes up to me, and he says, all right, hey, let me get a Tom Collins on the rocks. And I said, all right, Tom Collins. I got this. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. And he's like, hey, that's not a Tom Collins. That's a Tom Jones. Thank you. I'm Sebastian. Have a good night. That was the set. That was my first set ever. So, am I funny? I don't know. You decide in the comments below. Yeah. That is a thing. And when I say I love pussy, I mean it. Just a little bit. That's why it's little. Anyway. I am ridiculous. 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 Oh, it's a good time. I could be the first guy to do a Mexican drum off in an arena. So for those of you who don't know why that means anything to me, my dad was a very accomplished drummer. He was born in 1965 on November 21st, and he was very well accomplished. Went #1 on the billboards. Toured the world. Played arenas all over the world. You ever see that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg? Their band made the music for the movie. So think about that. And I don't know. It's kind of cool. I feel like I left track into where I was going earlier with the whole why Kill Tony means a lot to me. So let's go back to it. So I started on November 3rd. I was going over my set. I did the set. I would end up doing 11 more sets at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego. And then on my 13th try, you know what? Just because it's already here, let's find the date. I'm pretty sure it was in February 2022. Set number 13. That's where everything kind of goes wrong. That's where everything falls apart. And I decide that I'm not funny. So, here it is. What a fun date. 02/02/2022. That is kind of awesome. So, basically, I was maybe like a half month in total over the span of 3 months, and ended up just bombing. Let's see if I can make this funny. There's a lot of girls out there with names like London and Sydney and Paris. It makes you wonder if there's some girl out there in England she's like, "Hello, my name's Pittsburgh. Nice to meet you, love. My middle name's Cheesesteak." I went to France, and nobody. This is actually true. It's not like a joke. This is true. I went to France, and I was really disappointed when nobody went, "Monsieur." Nobody ever did that, not once. That sucked. There was one mime. One guy had a beret on. There was a lot of bread, a lot of baguettes for sure. The Wu-Tang Clan should probably make scarves, because you got to protect your neck. It's cold out there. I'm not doing the rest of this, because it ends up going into like all this stuff bombed. Just bomb. And you know what? Maybe it was the wrong room. Maybe it was just the wrong tempo and cadence. Maybe it was I should have just stuck with it and not given up. But that's what happened. I gave up. I quit. And I had a girlfriend. I had a new girlfriend, some fresh puss, and I was like diving on in. And that might be like objectively misogynistic, but it's true. I was infatuated. I still think about this person on a daily basis, and it's annoying. I don't like to do it, but there they are. And, for a while, they were my world. And eventually, things didn't work out. So, I was going through this hardship from August all the way to, what would it have been? October? Yeah, like early October. I was just this depressed loser who, if you hung out with me, it'd be just, wow, that guy's really sad. I can't hang out with him. He's making me sad. That's a lot. This guy needs help, but not from me, from a professional. So I couldn't put that on my friends. I couldn't be that burden, that source of negative energy that's just, gross. I don't want to be that person. And I didn't know what to do. I was lost. Now, at the same time, this entire spectrum of time, I've been watching Kill Tony. I like the show. I think it's fun. I enjoy watching. Who likes when people do good on the show? Who likes when people do bad on the show? And yeah, it's true. It was a nice little source of something to do. And you know what's kind of fun? The amount of people that I give ride shares all the time. I give rides to people that don't have anything to do with comedy. And they tell me oh, you do comedy? You know Kill Tony? Oh, dude, every Monday night, that's Kill Tony night, man. Like, what a broad span that this show has reached. From humble beginnings in the belly room at the Comedy Store, where I won my battle against Mitch. The synchronicity is too much. I will get pulled. I will get pulled on either Friday or Sunday. Honestly, I've been thinking about this a lot. I would love to get pulled on both shows. I think that would just be... I've earned it. By God. Sorry, Mom, I'm not taking his name in vain. I'm proud. I'm proud to have a Lord that would allow me to live in this manner and allow me to do the things in life that would lead up to the series of events that would lead to me being on the show at the center of attention in front of the audience of Kill Tony. I love the show. I think it's incredible. I saw, the first time I saw Tony Hinchcliffe was not on a screen. It was in person. It was at the Improv in 2019 of December. That was backwards. December of 2019. Anyway, he was opening for Joe Rogan. And I remember my friend Sam Jones reached out to me and he said, yo, there's a show with Joe Rogan at the end, like in LA. Do you want to go see it? Or maybe I reached out to him. I don't remember how it worked exactly. But comedy wasn't like a regular part of my life at that point. That was maybe the first time I ever, in my adult life, saw like, oh, shit, like, cool, comedian guy. Let's go ahead and go see that comedian guy. That's fucking Joe Rogan. You rude. And he changed the spectrum of what's available for comedy in the current day and age. You watch your mouth. I'm talking to me. That's so crazy. First time I ever saw Joe Rogan, I was 11 years old, and I was going to my dad's band practice in White Plains, New York, and every week I would go there. We would play Crash Bandicoot on, I think it was the PS1, and then they'd put on the TV, and then one day they put on Fear Factor, and it was this episode where I remember it was a naked fashion show, basically, where the challenge, all right, here's your, why am my Joe Rogan's so feminine? All right, everybody, here's your challenge. Now he's a drill instructor. All right, everybody. I can't do Joe Rogan. All right, here's your challenge. You got to get naked and stand on this podium and spin in a circle, butt naked, in front of a bunch of photographers for 60 seconds. I think I may be in a more conscious state of having brain capacity. I could do that, but I don't right now. A Joe Rogan impression is not what I'm trying to do at this point. It's not going to add or take away from the story. Basically, that's the first time I ever saw this guy. So I'm going with my friend Sam to the Improv to go to go and see this guy. And Tony is just one of the feature guys. Greg Fitzsimmons opened up for Joe. Tonio opened up for Joe. Some lady opened up for Joe. I don't remember anything else. I do remember that when Tony went up, he was wearing a Trump University pullover hoodie, and he did the joke along the lines of, hey guys, I'm going to go on the Tonight Show next week, so I wanted to run my clean set by you tonight. So if you know what I'm talking about, that's the joke. And I thought he was great. He was awesome. So that's how I looked him up. And when I looked him up, I found the show, and then I started watching the show. And then years later, I would try comedy. And then I did comedy for a little while, and then I quit comedy. And then even while I was dating this girl, I was watching Kill Tony for that whole time span. So finally we break up at Burning Man in 2022, and I'm still watching Burning Man through my depression. And at some point, Red Band announces that they're going to be doing a secret show at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and I think, oh wow, that's a lot closer than Austin. I could probably go see that one. This is just as a fan of comedy. I think, like, oh wow, it'd be so much fun. Andrew lives in LA. We'll go see Andrew, and we'll go have a little LA adventure because he's moving out of there soon. You might as well go do something. You've had so many adventures with this guy over the years. For those of you who don't know who Andrew Coulter is, he's one of my best friends in the whole world. And there's a lot of videos on my channel where we go on adventures. So go ahead and check those out. But anyway, I buy 2 tickets for the secret show. And, I'm not really doing too well all there mentally. I'm trying my best to do what I can to get through this period of life. And plane, a lot of planes. Doing what I can. So Andrew and I go to the secret show. We see a bunch of really, really funny comics. Like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then one fella. I've been saying this for a long time. And I am so glad that he is finally getting the recognition that he deserves. Because Casey Rocket is one of the funniest people that I've ever seen in person ever. How long did I see him? 7 minutes. What did that 7 minutes do for me as a person? Help me forget that I was sad. Help me forget that I was depressed. I laughed to the point that I couldn't breathe and I was about to pee my pants. And it was just this moment. He did this one joke that I will never forget for the rest of my life. I can't move as fast as he can along stage right now, but I'll do my best to move within the frame of what's available. Every day until I was 24 years old, I showered with my father. And then one day, I remembered, I don't have a dad. Who was that man? All right. Sorry, Mom. Oh, boy. It's full. My life is falling apart. Just that joke sent me into oblivion. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not sad right now. I'm actually pretty happy. That was really fun. That was really neat. I enjoyed that. That's what comedy is capable of doing. It's not just telling jokes. You're changing the perspective of people. You're changing their chemical balance in their brainwaves. You're giving them the chance to feel euphoria in a moment where they might feel darkness or be shrouded in the unknown, and just give them that little piece of just and I don't know, man. If I hadn't seen that set right now, I don't know where I would be in life. I don't know what would be happening with me. And so after I saw that in early October, I thought, you know what? I'm going to get myself back together. All right, back to the Bible. Because, we'll go ahead and go through this. Because if I go to that set where I bombed, I'll go to set 13, where it's just like, I'll show you real quick. This thing's it literally fell apart on the highway, and all these pages are just hanging in there by gravity. So, that's set 13. Now, if I follow 13, we actually have, which is kind of fun. This is what actually caused me to quit. It's 5 pages on Willy Wonka. I know I've read this before on the podcast, but it was 1 page, 2 pages, full pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 full pages on my problems with the original Gene Wilder Willy Wonka film. Now, there was a slight laugh at the end of it, and it was about Willy Wonka basically owning slaves, and when Charlie inherits the factory, the FDC comes in, or whoever is in charge of the labor bureau, they would say, oh, so your entire workforce is undocumented migrant slaves. You're being shut down immediately. So Charlie's homeless again. That's kind of the main premise that I had with it. And that got a little laugh, but that was just it was something. And then it took a while to get back to it, and then we got a September entry. Just I wrote down a bunch of jokes, And now 10/15, 2022. Solid. It's so funny. I'll show you this page real quick. Please don't steal my ideas, but these are like original thoughts from. I basically went through everything that I wrote before, and figured out what was funny. So my solid test. Okay, if you look at the way I wrote it, I added two arrows. Original, solid, tested, fictional jokes. So I got the Netflix and chill joke, I got my hair dyeing joke, got the London joke, the Olive Garden joke, and then the golf joke. So that's 5 out of 13 sets on stage. I had 5 that I thought were like actually kind of cool. And then a bunch of like premises right now. And what's really funny is the first premise that I wrote that I didn't think was that good is something that I've been closing with a lot lately, and it's killing. And that's so cool. Like, even in the beginning, the aspects were there. Like, I had the pieces of the puzzle. I just didn't know what order to put them in. That's so fun. Or even this. Like, this joke is... I don't even know if I could really do... Like, has anybody ever met a roofie dealer? Ever? What does a roofie dealer look like? For real. I need answers. Have you ever seen one? I've never met anybody who sells roofies. Like, bothers me. And then eventually we would go on to do, like 300 sets in this crazy book. Also, I found this book on the side of the road. There's this really cool Rorschach in the middle of it. And to me, it looks, it looks like a guy with a cleaver and then like a guy with a wand or something. It's pretty cool. And you got a little sneak peek at some other stuff there. So basically, yeah, like this book, go look up if you really are interested. There's an episode called the magical joke book or the mystical joke book, something. I don't know, whatever. It's on. If you go to my live videos, it's there. So that's where you can watch it. And yeah, dude, we started doing comedy again. So on October 24th, 2022, we came back and we did set number 14, which I consider set number 1, to be honest. I don't know who hosted it. However, I came back and I tried again on October 24th, 2022, because it was 2 days before my ex's birthday and I wanted to get it done. And my birthday was a month after her birthday. And I just wanted to like go and show myself that you can do this. So I did, and I did it for a solid month, and then on my birthday I ended up getting drugged and I broke a bunch of my teeth and I got a big Harry Potter scar in my face, and the bar that did it to me actually ended up banning me and deleting the footage, and hope that bar burns down with a bunch of minors in it. I would really like to know what happened to my skull on my birthday. Did I fall? Did I collapse? Did I get punched in the face? Did I get hit with a pool stick? Did I run into a wall? Did I hit the door? Did I fall in the bathroom? Did I slip? Did I fall? Did I hit a chair? Did someone slap me? Someone punch me in the face? Somebody hit me with brass knuckles? What happened to my fucking head, dude? Fuck you, Jay. Yeah, fuck Lucy's Tavern in OB. Oh, that place burns to the ground. And basically, I don't know. Even after that, I had a bunch of Band-Aids on my head. I was at the fucking comedy club, and I did a set. You won't believe my birthday. Whoa. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know. To me, that seems like a big point where I found this thing that relates so truly to who I am as a person. That I can follow the tragic dynamic that is my life, and I just really appreciate the fact that I had that available to me. So October 24th, set number 14. Okay, today is Thursday, May 9th. On Tuesday, May 7th, I did my 494th set at American Comedy Company. So with 18 months and some change, I did almost 500 sets. That's a lot of work. That's so much effort that you have to put in to go do that. If you go watch the Ralphie May masterclass on how to be a stand-up comedian, he tells you for the first 3 months, like, if you really want to do this, like, no wife, no girlfriends. He didn't say no wife. He said no girlfriends, no bullshit. Go do 3 clubs a night, every night. If whatever you have available to you, go do that. And when I was doing it at the beginning, we had the Madhouse. We had Madhouse Comedy Club. That was 7 nights a week, open mic comedy. That means you can get 21 minutes on stage to practice every single week. You can grow exponentially at that rate. Were you really putting in the effort to try and do that? Now, I got to do over 300 sets on that stage, on the little brick room stage. Now, that place used to be an old Hard Rock, they call it a hotel or a cafe. I don't or like it was a Hard Rock where they had bands play. Anyway, the bands would play where they would do the main stage now, and the green room for the bands is now the brick room. But the brick room is obsolete, I guess. Anyway, so it was just this beautiful little kind of like side option they had every day. It was the one club in the world that was available, open mic comedy every single night, no matter what. And I got to grow a lot as a comic in that room. So I'm very grateful to that opportunity. And it's a shame of what happened at the end on the very last night that I ever spent time there. I was assaulted by this crazy drunk man, and management did not have my back. I will put it that way, just to be blunt. I'm not going to name names. I will say that club did not have my back in any regard, because there was a drunk man walking down the road following these 4 girls, and they said, "Hey, leave us alone," as they were going through the crosswalk. And then he started to pipe up even more, and got to the point where he touched one of them. And then the comics that I saw they were a little bit down the way at the actual, like, the little corner of the crosswalk, and I'm on the glass window of the club itself, just kind of enjoying my time and smoking a cigarette, looking at everything that's going on, being a bystander. And he grabs the girl. She turns around and says, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." The comics come in, pull this guy off, and he starts walking away, yelling stuff at the girls. And he yells this, I won't forget this ever. He says, "One day you're going to get stalked down an alley." And I said, "Yeah. By you." And there's times in life where I wish I could just keep my mouth shut, and this was not one of those moments. And then he went from just like this to and then he rushed me as hard as he could. He just went and checked me so hard that I flew back, and my back hit the ledge outside the club. I wonder if I could, I'll show this. That's fun. It's not going to be easy to turn around in here, but like, I have a scar on my back from this thing. Like, I got thrown into a ledge, or a banister, like a window banister. Yeah, those little, like, 3 things. There's like a ledge that sits over the window, and I got just hadoukened into this thing, and I hit the glass so hard that everybody inside came out and saw me on the ground struggling, and just kind of like, and the guy went off. Now, there is a comic that I don't want to get them in trouble, but they and 2 other people like tracked this guy down, and they held him down, and they beat the shit out of him, and I'm very grateful for that. And I even got to get one in on the I punched him in the stomach real bitch like while he was being chokeholded, but that was the most ridiculous assault. Like, fuck you. He was going to be the guy who would stalk them down the alley. That was the whole point. I wasn't being objectively incorrect. So that's a low point in my life, but that was the last time I ever spent time at the Madhouse. And management was basically rude and not on my side. And this one employee there. Yeah, you're an employee. And like, I don't want to say your name, but you know who you are. And they told me they would, like, I don't know, I started to get frustrated when I was just in this bit of like a panicked state of talk. And I couldn't figure things out. I was frustrated that I got hurt and nobody had my back. And I just wanted to know if I can get footage. And they kept saying, just go home, just go home, just get out of here. And I said, don't tell me what to do. Fuck you. And he said, oh, fuck me? Like, I'll break your fucking back right now. And look, I get that you're gay, but that's, not my prerogative. And I realized that was a ridiculous comment to make. But at the same time, like, that's, what a crazy thing to say to a fellow comedian. I got assaulted by some random drunk guy, and you want to threaten to hurt me too? You're also not funny. You dumb piece of shit. Like, yeah. Have a more generic name. Anyway, that guy sucks. So, moving on. It's just one of those things, man. Ralphie said in the masterclass, there's going to be a lot of people that you see that you think that you're funnier than them. They're going to get booked on stuff. You're going to get booked on stuff. You're going to get fired from stuff. Like, it's very high school. Like, the San Diego comedy scene is a very high school, like, community where there's, like, little lunch tables and stuff that you can sit at. And if you don't fit into their little, like, criteria, then you don't get to be on their shows and you don't get to get booked. And there's only so many things available in the city. So, you better play your cards right. You better kiss your, like, no, I'm me. I'm doing my thing. Fucking suck my dick. That's, just, it's tough to navigate this road sometimes. But I'm trying my best, and I do what I can. I try to, make people laugh. Like, I gave so many rides tonight at the point where I had people kind of like, I don't want to say they're howling, but just, I gave some people some pretty hearty laughs, some good chuckles. And it's kind of fun. Like, I get to do more sets than anybody else. I get to do comedy for every single ride. I get to find a person and just, whether or not they want to hear my jokes, they have to. They're stuck in my car. And it's one of those things. Captive audience. Let's go, baby. By force or not. Today's been good. Yeah, we got home, went for a skateboard with Ollie. That was fun. And, yeah, now we're sitting here making a video. We're sipping, having a good little thing. I had this idea that I wanted to go over all the things that Tony says in the interviews and stuff, and have, like, a piece of paper written with all the things, like, oh, what's the weirdest thing in your fridge? Well, I have an energy drink called Energy AF, which was made by Diplo, and it's flavored glow stick grape. That's real. I could really show you that right now, but I don't want to get up. Or what's your love life? Well, what's your love life like? Really bad. It's disastrously not good. I don't know my body count, but I'm very lonely. And it's one of those things, man. You just got to go into it. Got to go with the flow. Got to feel what you're grooving. Like a dirt bike driving on some corduroy tracks. Do what you can. I mean, the whole thing about the show is just to live in the moment. You can't look at a piece of paper and have that be present. Once you look at your notes, you're taking away your eyes from the audience. That's like a big thing Ralphie says in the masterclass too. It's just the fact that, like, every time you disengage yourself with the notes, you're not being a professional. And the show isn't about notes. It's about improv. It's about real life conversation. Just to be there in the moment, to be present, to be a big, not to be a big, but to be true to yourself and to be honest. And Tony's ready to set you up. He gives you all the questions and he just throws you the ball and you can either hit it or you can miss it or you can not swing like a dumb fuck. And like, excuse me, you gotta go for it. You gotta believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who the fuck is going to? What are you doing? Live your life. Do what you can. Go about things in a manner that aren't traditional, that Go against the norm. Live life as you see fit. You know, sometimes it's hard. I understand the term is starving artist so much harder than I've ever understood in my life. I can't even apply for food stamps. I'm so poor. It's just, ugh. I'm trying my best. I miss eating food from groceries, and I see people make it from this show, man. I see the success stories. I see the ups and downs. I see the rises and falls. And then I meet guys like Cam. I met Cam and we talked for a good 30 minutes in the green room. That dude was one of the nicest dudes ever. I loved hanging out with him. I loved hanging out with his uncle. We smoked a blunt outside the club in San Diego. Like, when I met him, he was working his door shift at the mothership. And I never got to go in the mothership because you have to get a ticket to a show or be on the show to get in there. And I just wanted a t-shirt or a hat and I couldn't get one. Maybe this will be my chance to get up there and be able to go do it. I have no idea. It's scary. It's just one of these things, like, is there the possibility that I won't get pulled? Like, yes, but that's not the world that I can live in. If I was living in that world, I wouldn't get anything done. I'm just right now there's I know that I don't know how this video is going to be playing in the future, but there's two people watching this right now. And one of them is me. So I'm 55 episodes in, and it's hard to like see that kind of trajectory. That means it would take a few thousand episodes to get up to like 17. So I won't live that long. I have to make something happen now, or else what am I really doing? I'm 30 years old, and I realize I've done a lot with my life, but I don't really see the results of those fruits. Put so much labor into this wine, and it just, like, the bottle's not ready to drink yet. It's still like I gotta leave that cork in there because it's not fermented enough. It's not gonna fuck you up if you drink it. It's just gonna be this like, yeah, like, all right, there's a nice little grape. It's like Welch's. It's like, well, just regular old grape juice. Need some wine. So I'm just ready for my life to kind of take the turn that it needs to. And today is Thursday, May 9th. This may be my last day as a regular person. I think so highly of what these possibilities could be. Corey Ryan told me, like, don't imagine this is going to be like a make or break for you. And that's probably a very important way to look at it. But at the same time, Kill Tony is the #1 live podcast in the world. And the amount of opportunities that have come from it. I'm just going to name some people that aren't regular characters that still got like big things available. Uncle Laser. That dude came and did a show in San Diego. And whether or not you like him, it was the fact that he was just a guy who just had a wild little interview and set and developed this fan base to the point where he blew up as this little comedian name to the point where he can tour and do comedy. And he invited my friends Eddie Weedman and Mike Diamond to be on his show at American Comedy Company. And just, wow, like, what an amazing little series of events that go from just being on the show to getting a little bit of reputation, to being able to travel a little bit, to booking my friends. Like, I want to book my friends on shows. I'd love to tour. That sounds amazing. I know some really funny people here in San Diego, and I would love to be able to give them the opportunity to go and do stuff. And I don't think I'm at the point where I can headline yet, but with enough practice, like, if I could get somewhere where I can get a decent amount of like stage time in on, every night if possible, then I could do that. This could be like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm just thinking out of my ass. And I don't know. It's hard. This is so hard. I haven't slept in a while. Been working for 12 hours. And by working, it's just driving. Just straight driving. I might as well have gone to Vegas and back from San Diego. It's tough. This is so not easy. It's not. And I'm doing everything I can. And I realize maybe I sound conceited or pessimistic, but I don't know. I'm just trying to be an optimist, and I'm living in a world of reality. So it's hard. But you do what you can, and we're here, we're living life. Ah, it's a plane. Cheers, baby. Maybe I will get on Kill Tony. I used to have a friend who called him Kill Tony. He called Tony Hinchcliffe Kill Tony. He's like, yeah, whenever Kill Tony says the thing that is so funny. His name is Tony. It's probably Anthony. What if I called him Anthony if I'd get banned immediately? Wow, Anthony. Wow. That's one thing that I've always done in my regular life that I feel like he and I have very, I like the voice pitch throws. Those are so fun. Just, okie dokie. Okay. Alrighty then. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Mom, I wish you wouldn't have heard that one. That's okay. My mom doesn't like it when the Lord's name is taken in vain, even though I've tried to explain to her in the past that there's much worse things you can do in the name of the vain, or the name of the Lord of the vain, like war. If you kill somebody and you're like, I'm doing this for the Lord, that's way worse than being like, ow! Name. Look. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm crazy. Wow. Yeah, so right now, real deal. I have to go to the bathroom so bad. I am doing the Charleston dance of needing to pee. And maybe this is a good time to just go ahead and call it. Go ahead and do episode 65 and in about 10 weeks, because this is episode 55. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and be there and be natural and be live, and we'll be at Kill Tony, by golly. I will be in LA at the Kia Forum, and I will be in LA at the YouTube Theater on May 10th and May 12th. Will your boy get up? I don't know. Find out. Watch Kill Tony on KillTonyLive.com. This episode is brought to you by Stuff. I had a whole bunch of other plans to do on the episode, but real deal, I have to go to the restroom, and I don't have the energy to go and come back and keep going, so this is going to be the end of it, and I appreciate you guys being here. I have the bladder of a squirrel. I really wish that weren't the case sometimes. I broke these glasses that I stole from a stripper that I banged in Costa Rica, or what country? I was in the Bahamas. These are like $2,000 sunglasses, and I broke the end of it, and I'm very sad about that. What a bummer. However, I super glued it. Let's find out if they... Oh, this feels so sketchy. Oh, please don't. Nice. Thanks for tuning into the Thank you for tuning into the Galactic Seabass channel. My name is Sebastian Fowler, a.k.a. Seabass, a.k.a. Galactic Seabass, a.k.a. Seabass Jokes, a.k.a. James Blonde USA, a.k.a. Check out my stuff. I appreciate you being here today. This has been a rocking episode, maybe even a rolling, if I'm not being too astute. I appreciate you very much for watching this. Where would I be without my audience, without my viewers? I know that we're a small channel right now, but today might be the last day on Earth that I have as a regular person before being a known entity, upon which was based with a show that started in the room that I want to roast battle in, that's in the description. So from humble beginnings, here we are. I am a 30-year-old man named Sebastian living in San Diego, California. We've been here for 11 years. The first couple of years was trying to figure that whole thing out, but we've been in Ocean Beach for about 7. And I love this crazy little hippie town. It's a cool place. I'm happy to be here. And I'm happy to have my dog, Ollie, and my cat, Andy. Andy's out playing right now, and Ollie's taking a fat little nap, and we're about to go skateboarding once I wake him up. However, in the meantime, I'm here with you guys here on the Galactic Seabass channel. I just want to thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this episode. It means a lot to me. Excuse me. Oh boy, that would be the bubbles. Excuse me. Hans Kim versus Rick Diaz. Who will win? Hans Kim, because they didn't put Rick on the poster. And anyway, I'm really excited to going ahead and seeing this go down. Tony hasn't seen me since he called me a freakazoid. However, when he did his set at the Balboa Theater in San Diego, I did some mushrooms with a former buddy of mine. Skipping. And when he walked, I remember he was outside the madhouse. I saw this little person. I'm like, is that Heath? And I saw, it was Heath. And then I saw Tony and I went, oh, no. And I went, great set, dude. And he gave me a fist bump. And it was awesome. And then he got 20, 30 feet away. And I went, whoa! And he looked back like, just kind of this, like, I don't know. I don't think I did the facial expression right, but it was like, ew, gross. So when I finally met him in Austin, not really, sort of, kind of ish. What's it called? He called me a freakazoid. And then during the last, I think this was all a part of the first episode I did that got muted. So I had to remake it. Now, when I was in Austin, maybe I did. I honestly don't remember. I was in Austin for New Year's. I saw the Vulcan show, and it was the regulars. Then Tony came up and did the Q&A, and when I had a question, he called me like, yeah, you freakazoid. And then finally in the David Lucas, Tony Hinchcliffe part, he told me, or he said, all right, let's bring us people to get roasted. I said, I want to get roasted. And David looked at me like, come on. He gave me a little nod up. And then I stood up really happily and excited. And Tony said, nope, not you. Sit down. Nope, And I was too roastable. So imagine what he could do on an arena stage. Show me what you got, motherfucker. Anyway, this is the Galactic Seabass channel. We're going to kill Tony. We're getting on. We're going to get a golden ticket. It's going to be awesome. Hope my table doesn't break. Rock and roll. Appreciate you being here today for the Galactic Seabass channel. My name is Sebastian Fowler. My name is Sebastian John Taylor Fowler, named after my dad. And I don't know who Taylor is, honestly. I keep forgetting. I'm 30 years old. No idea who that guy is. Or a girl. It's a very androgynous name. Anyway, I appreciate you being here today. You're amazing. Whether it's morning, noon, afternoon, or night, you're the best. Have a great rest of your that time. And safe travels, and be well, and be merry, be happy, do all the things that bring you joy in this life, and best of luck in all your endeavors. And I really appreciate you tuning into the Galactic Seabass channel, and I really hope that you wish me luck in getting on Kill Tony this Friday and this Sunday in Los Angeles, California. You can catch me May 24th at Quantum Brewing here in San Diego, or on June 10th at the Madhouse Comedy Company. Madhouse Comedy Club, who hasn't booked me in maybe a year. And by golly, we have to go to the bathroom so bad right now. It's not even a question. Oh, we're at the end of our limits here. Oh, yeah. Also, I'm very sleep deprived. I've been awake for a very long time. The amount of hours that I will be asleep, I don't know. But in the meantime, if you would like to support the podcast, there's ways to down below in the description. I could really use your help to get to Kill Tony and back. And, take care of these things that I have up and coming in the meantime. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. If you have some crazy stories that you want to go ahead and share with me, send me an email to galacticseabass@gmail.com. That would really mean a lot, because I want to share some of your crazy stories on the air, and nobody's done it yet. Do it! Anyway, appreciate you very much. So do that, or advice, or just whatever. Just email me, talk to me. I'm very lonely. I will absolutely respond. I'm not a big creator right now, so if you send me stuff, I will reply to it, or look at it and then just kind of like, and then just let it sit there for like 3 weeks, like I do with a lot of people. But only when, does anybody else do that? Is anybody else kind of like, I'll get to it later. Then a month goes by and you're like, oh, I don't know, it's too late now. Anyway, thank you very much for being here today. This was a lot of revealing, a lot of information, and I appreciate you very much for tuning in to the Galactic Seabass channel, episode 55 of the Galactic Seabass Podcast. My name is Sebastian. They call me Seabass. And I am him. You know, you might know a lot of Sebastians in your life, or Sebastians, which is only 3 syllables versus 4. See, like when you say Sebastian, that's 3. Sebastian, that is my name. That's 4. So if you don't get it, I get that you don't get it right, but you like that's why it's that way. All my brothers have Ian in it. It's Sebastian, D'Artagnan, Max Adrian, Azurian. We are Ians. Why didn't she just name one of us Ian? I don't know. But at the same time, this is the life that I've been dealt with. So, my name is Sebastian Fowler, a.k.a. Seabass. A nickname inescapable in every city I've ever lived in. However, nobody's branded the name Seabass yet, and I plan that to be my objective in this lifetime. I am Seabass. You Google Seabass, you find me! And so, I appreciate you very much for tuning into this episode. You are amazing, and I am Sebastian. Thank you very much for being here today. This was a podcast. This was an episode. This was a man rambling in his early 30s to his phone in a room empty besides a dog and a cat every once in a while. I live with 2 roommates. I got a Mexican and a black, and they're shit on rent, and they're very hairy. So, appreciate you very much for tuning into this. That was a wild ending. By golly, I still have to go to the bathroom, and I just keep talking. I'm so bad at goodbyes. Ask my mom how bad I am at goodbyes. I am the worst. I will look out the window and not even look at the road and keep honking and wave. I love you. I'll see you. Bye. I love you. And, oh my gosh, just one of those things. Hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, I appreciate you very much for being here today. This was a podcast, and I am a person, and you were a person, and I wish you the best of luck with all your endeavors in this lifetime. You're amazing. Thanks for being here today on the Galactic Seabass channel, episode 55. Podcast, episode 55. That's a plane. Final cheers. Rock and roll. Okay. End of the line. Thank you very much for being here today, and I'll see you soon. I'm getting on to kill Tony. Rock and roll. End transmission.